I'm Denise McLeod, and today we are going back to Waterford Township, Michigan to the Drayton Plains Nature Center. Now today the Nature Center is a little bit more recreational than it was back in the day when it was built. It has the Clinton River surrounding it, it has ponds, it has trails, it has woods, and it has a hot dam. Now it has a dam, beautiful. If you haven't been there, then you need to check it out. But before we do that, I would like to give you a little bit of history on why it was built, where it was built, and what they used it for. So let's take a look.
In 1835, Daniel Windeyate immigrated from Berkshire, England, to what soon would be called Drayton Plains. There he built a dam and a mill, and named the mill Drayton after his home in England. In 1850, the railroad was completed through Drayton Plains, and a train depot was built in 1809 at Mill Street, now Hatchery, and the Saginaw Trail, which is now Dixie Highway. The Drayton Plains Depot was built by the Detroit, Grand Haven, and Milwaukee Railroad. The railroad was responsible for the population of Waterford Township reaching 1,085 the year it opened. A fish hatchery was opened by the state in Drayton Plains in 1903. Along the Clinton River on Mill Street, later Hatchery Road. The hatchery was originally known as the Drayton Plains Station. Its purpose was to raise bass fingerlings. Starting around 1913, the Drayton Plains Station began to be informally called Drayton Plains Hatchery. By 1934, the name was officially changed to Drayton Plains State Fish Hatchery. It remained thus until the closing in 1962. The Drayton Plains State Fish Hatchery was listed as a Michigan Historic Site on August 24, 1984. Today, the former fish hatchery is the site of the Drayton Plains Nature Center, located at 2125 Denby, situated on 138 acres, with an expanse of nearly 1 mile in length. It exhibits nature in various forms. The grounds include woods, ponds, streams, and a prairie. Along with expansive trails, it offers an interpretive center that houses displays of specimens in their natural habitat. Hi everybody, today is December 15th, believe it or not, and I am at the Drayton Plains Nature Center, which in the winter they drain their ponds, and right now I'm digging in the sand. Which is kind of fun actually. I thought I'd be in the dirt, but sand is much easier to dig. Got my little shovel. Got this. Found a penny and a nail, but it is beautiful here. So many of you, I'm sure, have walked the trails. The problem I faced with the Drayton Plains Nature Center is that it's a very big piece of property. And it has many parts to it. It has the part where the fire pits, the picnic tables, and the Drayton Plains Nature Center, the building itself. It has woods that surround it. It has trails that surround the ponds. It has a dam at the north end. And it has the fish ponds themselves throughout the whole length of it. So I had to figure out where to start, and I thought I would start around the fire pits and the Drayton Plains Nature Center building in that area. But that was not very fruitful. Started finding things on the south side by the ponds, and I started finding things on the north side of the woods. And that's where I ended. So I believe this is going to be a 2-part show as I continue to finish searching the Drayton Plains Nature Center. So right now I'm going to go into some of the artifacts I found and know that there's probably going to be a part 2 near the fall or winter. So let's start the show. Let's see what I found. Where to start? First of all, I could start with the coins. Lots and lots of coins. Mostly found in the wintertime or in the fall. They drain the ponds, and so it leaves a bunch of sand. And these were all mostly found in the sand. The oldest coin that I have found. The oldest coin I have found in this area, which was by the first hatchery house they built by the dam,
is a 1938 1 center. 1 cent is the oldest penny that I have found in the area. 1938, or it's a 1919 or 1918. This could be a 1918. So that is the oldest coin I found in the area, again by the dam and where they built the first hatchery house. Now, of course, bunch of square nails here. Bunch of square nails. Here's a good one. And of course, that's probably the grounds near the big house they have there. I'm gonna guess. I can't really remember where I found this at. Or it could be in the woods. I started finding a bunch of stuff. There's 2 parts of the woods, one in the front, one in the back. If I found some of these, it would have been in the back. Important, interesting things. This is a dog tag that I found by one of the ponds from 1959, as you can see. Michigan dog license, 1959. So I found that. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting. Good find. Found pretty close to it in the same trail is a key. Now you're like, oh, well, that's just like a regular key, but really, I don't know if I can get it on camera here. It's from Auto City Products Company in Detroit. And it's from the 50s as well, I believe. They don't have that company there anymore. The Auto City Products Company. Yeah, it was in downtown Detroit there. So that's pretty cool. Part of a mason jar. It's porcelain. That's all I found in the hole. I didn't find anything else. But you can tell by the circles on it that it is made of porcelain. It's in a mason jar. So that's pretty cool. Now this, I'm not sure if this is really old or not. Old English 800. They have that beer today. But I think this is an older cap. I tried to look. But I believe it is an older, like from the 60s kind of cap. Next thing up, which I think is important here. Here's a little tool. You see that? Unless it's some kind of, it just looks like a little tool to me. I'm not sure for what. I'm sure some of the guys out there will know what it is. But I thought that was kind of interesting. But I don't know exactly what they do that for. I'm going to say leather, or I'm sure you guys will know. And by the way, the last show, I appreciate the people who wrote to me and kind of had ideas for what things might be. This, I believe, is a bolt. An old crusty bolt, but it could be a Civil War bullet, but I think it's a bolt because of the bottom there, which isn't interesting at all. I don't know what this is. Oh, it does have some writing on it, doesn't it? Let me look here. It says, oh, it has a name on it. Ryan. Let me see. Nims? Ryan Nims. With the, I should cover that up. With an address on it. I'm not sure. They used to have, I don't know what that is from. But it was hanging, whatever it was, and it has his name and address on it. So I'm not sure what that is. Robert Nims, if you're around, maybe you can tell me. Of course, around the ponds you're going to find sinkers. Here's a sinker. I was hoping it was a bullet, but it was a sinker. This is interesting. I think it's from a ladle. You can kind of see that there is a hole, or was a hole. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong end as usual. Okay, there's a hole there to hang it. So I think whatever it was could have been a ladle, right? It's a handle. It's a handle. Whoop, whoop. I don't know. But that's pretty interesting. I found these by, if you haven't been there, it's like 3 or 4 ponds, and it has trails between them. So I found, I found the key and the dog tag and the handle between those ponds. Another thing I found between the ponds, this is pretty heavy, actually. And I believe it is a handle of some kind. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like something broke off there. But you can tell it's square. It's some kind of handle. I don't know for what. You can see this. Well, it's pretty rusty. Next thing I want to look at is this. Also found by the ponds. Most of this is found by the ponds. I must have spent 3 months in 2024 just going around the ponds and around the dam and stuff. And no matter how many times you go through it, you're going to find more stuff. I'm not sure what this is for. I'm not sure it's from a horse, someone's shoes, someone's boot. But that's pretty interesting. It's been there a while. You can tell because of the rust on it. It's pretty cool. Don't know what that is. Now, this also is a handle of some kind, I believe. I think, but you can't really tell because it's just a mess, right? Piece of metal. Who knows? I don't know. If you have an idea, you can write to me and give me an idea of what it is. Now, this is pretty interesting. This is a bottle. Now, this wasn't found by me. This was found by Whitney Hunt, who does a little bit of magnet fishing, and she came with me one day, and she found this bottle. And if you don't know, if you look on the bottom, let me see if I can see it. If you look on the bottom of these bottles, it'll have a date on it. And this one is 65. That's a 65. 55. So this bottle's from 1955. And I'm guessing it's a Mountain Dew or a Sprite. Something like that. She said it really wasn't. It wasn't in the ground. It was in a stream. Kind of by the dam. And she came across it and grabbed it, which is great. And if you didn't know, Whitney will be joining us on a show or two once it heats up and get some magnet fishing in there and see, because I don't know if you know, the Drayton Plains Nature Center is surrounded by stream. I'm thinking it's Clinton River. I could be wrong. So there's plenty of things to find there. What I found the most of is shotgun shells, rifle shells. They definitely did a lot of hunting there. And I've learned a lot of things about this. This one I found kind of like in the swamp. Right on the edge of the swamp. Because I remember thinking, oh my God, I found a button. But no, because it kind of looks like a button from there. But if you read it, I think I told you this in the other show. If it doesn't say USA on it, if it doesn't say, it says super on it.
hard to read through a phone. If it doesn't have a USA stamp on it, it's Western. Super X. I don't see a USA, but it does have a USA. If it has a USA stamped on it, it's an earlier shotgun shell or stamp. If it doesn't have USA on it, then it's older. And you can kind of tell if it's older because it's got a paper. I think that's like paper or cardboard in there. But man, they must have hunted there like crazy. This is a 12 gauge Winchester repeater. No USA stamped on it. So this might be the oldest shotgun cap that I've found. Getting my hands all dirty, but that's all right. They did a lot of duck hunting back there. And I find these kind of everywhere. See these? And last show, I think I said that they were the early shotgun shell or some kind of rifle shell, but I don't know. But I find them here and there, and they're hollow. And that kind of looks like, well, I don't know what that looks like. So if you know what these are, you have an idea what these are, send me an email and let me know what you think. Because I'm not sure what they are, but I find a lot of them. And of course I found these rifle shells. I'm pretty sure these are rifle shells. These could be the shotgun shells. Because I know back in the day, the shotgun shells started out a certain way, and it started out kind of hollow like that. You can see the difference from then to now, but if you have an idea, you can let me know. I can't really read that, but you can see that's pretty old. I'm not sure what this is. Could be another sinker, I suppose, or some kind of weight for something. Another thing that Whitney found when she was helping, she helped me dig one day, is this button here. Now, when I'm digging in public places, I meet people because they're interested. They want to know what I'm looking for, or what I found, or if I found gold, or if I make a lot of money doing this, which I make no money doing this. I met somebody named Laura who was very interested in what I was doing. And I told her that I had found, not this button, but a couple other buttons. This button here, this is a button. That's a button, 2 buttons there. And she told me that she was part of a button club, and I'm a button club. They have a button club in Waterford, and they meet there. So if you didn't know, Waterford has a antique button club. And she had, kind of told me a little bit about the buttons, that if it has, again, if you look at the back and stuff, or if it has USA written on it anywhere, then it's a newer button. So this button is a newer button. And this one was found, if you ever went to the Drayton Plains Nature Center, where they have the fire pit with all the benches. This was found in there. Now, in that area, we found out because another gentleman came up. We couldn't figure out why we couldn't dig there. Another gentleman came up and told us that back in the day, in that area, they had fish ponds, like cement fish ponds that were real. They weren't deep, but they were all in that area. And so when we tried to dig in that area, we couldn't dig because there was cement down there. And that button right there was found closer to the parking lot than the fire pit. So that's why we have that. But it was good to know. So people will come up to you
And they'll tell you history, and they'll say, I lost something, I lost this, I lost that. If you find it, let me know. That kind of thing. They come up and they tell me about the things that they have found, not necessarily with the metal detector, but things that they dig up. Some people are into glass, some people are into arrowheads. And this button right here, this one, is an older button. This is just a plain button. See how it's got that? This is an older button. So it's good to meet people. Like Laura kind of told me a lot about some of the buttons that I may or may not have found. And I would like to have Laura and her button group come in and talk about buttons at some point. But if you're into antique buttons, I guess button collecting is a thing. So I guess that they meet at the Waterford Township Library sometimes. So you could probably call the library and find out when they're meeting. So, but anyway, and then also, you guys know, a lot of you in Waterford know Gary Wall, past supervisor. He's now a trustee. I'm guessing he grew up in that area at Drayton Plains Nature Center, and told me a bunch of stories, and he has a bunch of artifacts that his father collected. And so he will either be on part 2 Drayton Plains Nature Center show, or I'm going to have a separate show that will have Laura and Gary and maybe some other citizens I can find that have stories and have artifacts that they'd like to share as well. Because I think that's really cool about the metal detecting, because like I said, I don't make any money off of it, but the artifacts and the timestamps, and you can kind of feel what was going on at the time, which is kind of cool. So that's how I get paid. But hopefully that show will be coming up in the future, and this is my 3rd show. And I'm going to say, Laura called or texted me. We don't really know each other that well, but she texted me and said she was there, and there was a gentleman in metal detecting there, and he had found a musket ball, and she kind of told me where he was at. So I went there, and 2 things I found. I found I found a musket ball of my own. Okay, a musket ball of my own. So it was, I don't want to tell you where it's at exactly, because I want to go back there and hunt before I tell people where this is at. But I'm starting to find and think that there's more things in the woods than there are around the ponds. Next to the musket ball, this truck. Isn't this cute? Look at that truck. It's a wrecker truck, right? It's a wrecker. And it is, I'm going to look. I kind of looked it up. I don't see a name in it. I looked this truck up on Google. You know how you take the picture and then it searches for you. And it came up, I want to say it starts with like a Tootsie truck or a, I wish I would have the name, but maybe I'll put it up in graphics after I edit this. But from the 50s. This is a toy truck from the 50s. It's got all the wheels on it. No, they don't turn, but maybe they didn't turn. I don't know. So that's very cool. I love this. It's one of my favorite things. And I like to put the musket ball in the truck. Doing. So that'll be a cute little display. And then also, I am willing to donate all this stuff to the Drayton Plains Nature Center or whatever they want out of this stuff. I don't have a problem doing that if they want it. Well, this is a big, heavy thing. I found a couple of these, man. They were down a little deep. I'm going to assume that they had some kind of break wall, along the water somewhere, or maybe for the dam. But I did find a couple of these, and they weigh a couple pounds, so it's pretty heavy. And that's it. That is what I have found at the Drayton Plains Nature Center. Now, like I said, I believe I'm going to do a part 2, depending on how much stuff I found. If you have not been to the Drayton Plains Nature Center, you need to go. Whether you live in Waterford or not, just stop by there. It's kind of in a neighborhood, and very beautiful, very beautiful. I would like to take the time to thank the people who have watched the show, who have made nice comments to me, who have emailed me and told me what they thought some of the items were. I don't know what all the items are. So if you see items on this show and you would like to give me a better idea of what you think the items are, email me right here. Also, if you have a home from the 1900s and up, where the ground hasn't been too touched as far as having dirt loaded on it and sod loaded on it, and it's kind of like the original ground, give me a call right here, and maybe your house will be on one of our future shows. No, you do not have to be on the show, but your house will be on the show. We'll hide the address. It'll be fine. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'm going back out on the trail, and I'll see you soon. Our next show is going to be the Gibson Farm in White Lake Township, Michigan. Take care, everybody.